Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to Madoka Magica. It is episode 12, the finale, and you know what to do, as always. If you want to see the reaction, there are two links in the descriptions down there. One is for my Google Drive, where you can see the reaction itself if you are within the first 1000 to click this, or you can download it. That should work as well if you're on a computer. In case the first link doesn't work anymore because we are over the 1000, use the second link please, which leads to another platform where you should be able to watch it nonetheless. So click there, watch, enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here to hear me out what I thought about this episode and very likely a discussion about the series in general. See you soon. For those of you who came back, welcome back. So, give me a second here, because I have to remember that I want to talk about all the girls in the end. That's why I have to write it down. I will possibly forget it otherwise. So, what a great end for the season. What a great end for possibly the series even. I am not sure if there's like another season coming. And if there would be, it would very likely not be called Madoka Magica anymore. That was nicely done. There was a lot of good stuff in this episode. They kind of found a way around the problem, which I like a lot, in a very clever and nice way. And they gave like a nice farewell, you know, to us, to all of the girls as well. So that was very, very, very nicely done. There might have been like a minute where I was a little bit teary-eyed, for those of you who are always questioning my cold nature. And, but it was, yeah, I liked it. I got a grip, so it was fine. So when they began the episode, we started off with where we left. Madoka and Homura talking to each other. And Madoka stating that she will indeed become a magical girl, which I can see that Homura was really in despair about. That is what she always wanted to avoid. That was what she was fighting for, that it doesn't happen. So, and then there is this one sentence which I really liked, so I wrote it down. I won't squander what you did and what you believe in. This is, you know, trust me. There are some things that Homura really stood for, what she tried, and Madoka was aware of that. So this is a promise that is very important. It is from the heart, and I liked it. It sounded really nice. And then we had the wish. So the incubator, Cube, stated that due to Madoka having so much power now, by the repeat of the timelines again and again, that she can get more neither every wish she wants. She can rewrite everything because she is so powerful. He will get the power, you know, from her when she does it. So he can grant any wish. And boy, did she make a wish. That was a very clever one. I had some theories myself. I mean, you heard it in the last episode, I guess, in my discussion. Hers one is really, well, it does change some things. It doesn't change, you know, but it takes away the major negative thing from being a magical girl. Because she wished that she will be able to destroy, to kill, however you want to say it, every witch before it is born. So I thought, would that mean she is like killing the girls before they are born? I mean, they're destined to become witches, you know. In this case, she would have killed the time that they're just human girls as well, and the time that they're magical girls. But nope, they changed it and did it in a very clever way. That in the moment when your soul crystal turns into a seed, into a grief seed, in this moment she appears and empties the grief from it, takes it from it, but in the same moment destroys the soul crystal. More neither, she's like the angel of death. She takes the girls with her, because that's one thing that was clearly shown. The girls disappear in this moment as well. So first the grief is taken, then the crystal itself vaporizes, and thus the soul is inside, then the body of the girl disappears as well. So in the same moment when they would disappear because they became a witch, they instead just die, you know? But they die happily, and because they are possibly aware what would have happened otherwise. It is the thing of sorry, this thing of destiny. It is your time to die. She doesn't change that. She just takes the bad thing away here. Still means that there are girls who disappear from this world, who disappear from their families, which leaves some sadness behind, I guess. But if you see what they did before for the world, then they are like, that's in finally the promises of Kyubey are not as negative anymore, you know, even if he's maybe not telling all of the truth yet. Still, he tells you will become a magical girl and make the world better by your wish and by fighting evil things. And when it's over, it's just over. Nothing bad happens after. Because that was a major thing, that the girls became the evil they fought before. That was just wrong. So that is what she did. She changed that. Sure, we don't know with those new enemies that are there now, if what that means, if there's something else happening, we have no clue. But that's okay. As I said, there could be other seasons. Why not? I like the fact that they went back and showed her, let's call it rescuing some girls, the souls of them. And they showed the very, very different types of girls that have fought before, that tried to make the world better. There was one with a teddy bear. That one got me a little bit, you know. So I asked myself if some of those have been witches we have seen before. I'm not sure. I think like the first two might be, you know. It would be fitting. But you could see, strange as it is, for the girls we know here, except for Madoka, who always was very, by outward appearance, childish. The girls very much became more adult to me over the series. Which is because they were fighting, which is not a child's play. Because they had a lot of troubles that they worked through, which showed them, you know, growing up in positive or negative way, but they got a lot of despair they went through. So that is something that makes you grow older. So that's why. And they are by design, if you just look at the picture now, they are more already a bit towards adulthood. While the girls that Madoka rescued in the screens later on, a lot of them were way more childish, you know, by outward appearance. So that's something we shouldn't forget. Some of them were not as old as those girls were. Yeah. So much for that. There was a very nice wish, a clever wish. It changed time itself more neither. It changed the universe, would be more correct. So there was enough power that the universe had to adapt to this. And thus Madoka was ceased from existence. So she was no longer a human girl. She became part of like the code of the universe, a constant, something that's happening. They called it the law of the wheel, which I like. It's a clever one. And in most cases they are not aware of her. It's just Omura, because of her ability to jump through time, she still has some memories of the other timelines. So that's why she still remembers. I like it that the little brother kind of remembers her. So like she's like his childhood friend he remembers. Ask myself if he will remember when he's older, or if it will go away like many of our imaginary friends from childhood disappear. The mother although she doesn't really remember, there are like little glimpses that she's like, that's a nice name. I somehow like this name. I like those ribbons. I would give it to my daughter if I had one. Something like this. There's like, yes, she can't remember, but the universe gives you this comfy feeling, you know? So nice as well. The fact that Madoka will do this forever was for a short amount of time sad, because it would mean that she would have been trapped in like a circle like Homura did. But she takes joy out of what she's doing. She's rescuing those girls. She's doing only good, you know? It's not going bad. By becoming so powerful, by becoming a law of the universe, he doesn't have to face the moments when it doesn't work, you know? It's always working. She is strong enough that it is always working, and she knows every time she's rescuing these girls from a bad thing happening. And you can see in the faces that the girls are happy about it, you know? So she gets positive feedback. So that's possibly why she can do it forever. Yes, it's a question, what does it make with your mind? I mean, she was just a human girl. One can only guess all over eternity. It might change her a little bit, and that she is really becoming something different because she's taking over a different kind of mindset. But it doesn't have to be negative. No, like a positive goddess. Sayaka couldn't be saved. Well, she didn't do a rescue in the meaning of they are not dying. That means every one of the girls will sooner or later at some time will die. Even Homura very likely. I think it was the last scene we've seen that maybe that was the end of Homura. But not a sad one, you know. She knew it was coming, and there's this moment she knows I will be together with Madoka possibly. Which I really hope. For Sayaka, I liked it. There was this moment in the concert room with Kyosuke playing again, and she said she just wanted to hear him play once more. Sure. I mean, we all agree she would have liked to have additional like love from him or anything, but it's okay that she came to terms. I like that he for a moment like remembered her. That is a good thing. But there's one thing that really stood out, and it surprised me a little bit, and it shines a different light. He said Hitomi is too good for him. Not with negativity especially, but I mean, I always thought, and I guess you did as well, that she was upset that Hitomi like walked in and took him away, but it is more the other way around. He didn't think about her. He didn't, sadly enough, care about her enough. We had this in the past. So it shows he's not Mr. Perfect at all. He is, I'm not calling him a bad guy or weak or anything, but as I said, after all she did for him, and not talking about rescuing him here, I'm talking about visiting him in the hospital all the time, trying to lift him up and everything. He did not go after her. That and that is the thing. So I can see why she thinks it. Hitomi seems to be a nice girl, and they were friends. And she even told her about it, which is a very positive thing, in my opinion. So I can see why she thinks that. I will talk about Sayaka a little bit later on. We had the wheel of the law of the wheel. That was okay. There was this moment when I was like, wait a second. When there are no more witches, there are very likely no more familiars either. What the heck are the girls fighting? And it just came to my mind like 30 seconds before they talked about it. And I was like thinking about, well, maybe they're familiars. Nope, they are not. No, they are not. What might it be? Is there something? Are they just trying to help people? You know, like pathfinders. You know. And I was like, hey, what the heck is going on? And in this moment, they stated, well, we have those monsters, those magical beasts now. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's something new instead. Madoka's changed a little bit. but she didn't change the fact that there are magical girls in the universe. So I think it is like the universe coming clean itself, saying, well, okay, I will put something else in their way. And it's still that the bad emotions of people, of mankind, are existing, and thus that's what they're fighting, always. As I said before, it changes a bit the way that the contract is with Kyubey and his alike, which is nice. We discussed this before. He himself is not an evil guy. It is the way we perceive him, at least for me. So I just want to make that once more clear, because there are a lot of discussions about that. And I mean a lot of discussions. I want to make it clear. I don't say he is evil. It is that I perceived him as evil because of the way he acts, which as a human with emotions, we partially couldn't understand or couldn't agree with, because it goes against our moral compass. If something goes against our moral compass, we perceive this as evil. He has no moral compass in this way, so he is not evil by himself. It's just logical decisions, no question there. It's just perceived as evil. And someone mentioned it very well. Well, Kyubey is just a and I will not continue this word. But in this way it works now, it is a more neither win-win situation, I guess, for both sides. There was a moment in the end when Madoka turned into a witch to destroy like the universe because of her grief. When after it had to happen, you know. But by making her wish to destroy every witch before the witch is born, she is like a perpetuum mobile, you know. She solved that problem as well. I'm not sure. Possibly the witch would have had a power. You could argue there endlessly. Wouldn't have this witch a power that is equal to Madoka, and wouldn't she, you know, like, wouldn't they balance each other out? And then she couldn't be able to save the girls before, because that takes powers as well. Not sure, but the wish was granted, so it works. You know, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm fine with it. So yeah, that's this. Let's go. All the girls. I mean, I have them right here. So as I said in the beginning, I think each of those girls had kind of a purpose, you know. It shows us something specific that is needed for... I'm not sure if it is needed for the development of Madoka, everything here, but each of them show a little bit of a different side of magical girls in specific for the genre, but each of and every one of them had a purpose. And especially, I think the one that, as far as I've seen, is at least by some people despised or liked less, is one of those that I liked most. I'm talking about Sayaka. But let's go one by one. Mami, in my opinion, is, as tough as it may sound, the weakest of the characters. Not by fighting power, but simply by the fact that she's not very much in the show. She is the poster girl, magical girl for the beginning. She's the one that is going for the good. If you look at her here with her hair, she looks a little bit like Sailor Moon, just by hairstyle. So maybe that is why she's in there. She's like the first one trying to fight for the good itself, working together, but being lonely, having no one. So there was like a first glimpse. Something is not perfect. He showed that magical girls can die very soon, abruptly, without a warning. And she was like a little bit like this poster child that the other girls strive for later on. I'm talking about Sayaka and Madoka. So she is more neither like the start into it. So you have someone who takes you by the hand for the first episode and gives you like this general, what is it about? So that is her purpose. And that's fine. But you, at least I, couldn't get a lot of depth in her because she was gone so soon. Yeah, definitely would like to learn more about her, because the other girls sure thing have way more background, because they gave them way more background. Umura. Well, no question. As I said, in my opinion, the hero of the show, the hero of the series. Even though Madoka in the end did kind of a similar thing, sacrificing herself for everyone, which is a way and above thing. Umura had the fact that she had like to suffer endlessly, or at least it feels endlessly. As some pointed out, it is about 12 years that she's going through the timelines again and again and again. 12 years of living. So although she's looking like, I'm not sure what they are, 13, something like that. She has doubled her life, not changing her outward appearance. And half of this life is fighting a war that she cannot win. Always trying to save Madoka, trying to save the city from the witches, especially from Walpurgis. I have to write it down. I really have a problem remembering Walpurgis Night. So that is a, well, partially sad story. And it takes a lot of strength not to break there. So it was only a matter of time until she would break. There's no question. So it didn't come as much of a surprise for me when she was about to break in the last episodes. It is this water dripping onto stone effect. She is hard as a rock, hard as stone, but each time she does a circle again, there's like another drop of water. And if you have enough water dropping on the same space, water will win, always. So, very strong, very passionate in her very own way about the friendship, fighting for it endlessly. Possibly the character with the most background, I think, because we had like a whole episode just about her and about her journey, where she has come from being this very insecure girl getting out of hospital towards the more neither unbeatable magical girl in the end that can delay time, that can craft bombs, that is going alone one-on-one against Walpurgis Night, and even looks like she's standing a chance, you know? So that is like the complete journey, but with this background that you finally realize whatever she's doing, she's doing it in vain. It's not going to end well. And still going on. That's the thing. At the moment, it is Sisyphus. If you know him, Sisyphus by Greek mythology is the man that was sentenced by the gods to put a boulder up a hill. So he was rolling a boulder up the hill, and but the hill has no flat top. So it's a huge boulder, and once he got it up, it will roll over down again, and he will have to start again. That is Sisyphus. So he's endlessly rolling this boulder, very well knowing once it's on top, it will roll down again, and he will have to start again. That is her story, and that's why it's called Sisyphus work. Work that seems to have no end, but you just have to do it, you know. And that's what she's doing. You need a lot of inner strength to continue. That's why she's, in my opinion, possibly the hero of the story. Madoka. What should I say? She is the not the really center of the series a very long time. She's the one that we start off with and think like, okay, she will be, you know, that's what the series is like. She will be the main character. Yeah, we will watch her grow and become a magical girl, and it's not happening. I mean, seriously, it's happening in the last episode. And it's like, in the middle of the series, it's not like I was forgetting about her, but she was becoming so unimportant. Because it was way more about all the other characters by then. And she was just like, you know, walking by. There were like 2 or 3 episodes where she was not really much in the shot at all. In the beginning of the episode, what I liked about her, of the series, is her struggles. You can, the emotional problems that are appearing, the problems of, it is about a wish, I'm not sure, can I trust, can I not trust, stuff like that. What will I wish for? That is why she is there, which is very good. She won a lot for me after the death of Sayaka. No, after the death of Mami, that it is. Because she was the one that we have seen struggle with it. Sayaka didn't catch enough of that. We have seen her struggle with what do you cannot tell anyone how to come to terms, how to work through this. The scene when she put the book in the household of Mami, that was really strong. Those were strong moments which I liked a lot, which gave her a lot of thumbs up from me. She has grown over the series more and more and more. In the end, very fast, nearly like a jump forward. Once she gripped what has happened with Homura, what it was about. You have to see that she first lost Mami, being someone she looked up to and watched her die. So there was a big one. Then she lost Sayaka, who is like a childhood friend for her, that turned into a witch. That's the second person. Then, well, she didn't know Kyoko very much, have to agree there, but she lost her as well. And then in the end, there's Homura, who's like opening up to her the information. I'm trying to save you all the time, and who has lost then at the end as well. So she is losing one person after another. So there's a lot of strength which is not clearly to be seen if you don't look closely. And additionally, she comes up with this idea in the end. And it's not an idea I didn't get it, I had ideas which I discussed last episode, but I didn't get that one. It was a very clever idea. So, clever. It is. She is clever. She is strong in her very own way. And she believes into her dream then, into her wish. Standing up for it and is aware that it means the end of her, Everyone will forget you. If you think about, there is, I don't know if you know that one. We have a saying here in Germany, which is like, what should a man do in his life? He should father a child, he should plant a tree, and he should build a house. That's those three things to be done. Out of simple reason, in the background, when you're gone, you're gone. But you want to leave something behind. If you plant a tree, it will grow for possibly approximately like 100 years. Let's say it a little bit less, don't know. But there's a tree, and you gave something to the world. Building a house, you left something for those of your family who are afterwards, for your children, for your grandchildren. There is a house. Father a child, you leave a genetically heritage. You have children, you have grandchildren, who will maybe remember you, but even if they don't in 100 years, I don't know what my great-great-great-grandfather was named like, and what he was like. I don't know, sorry. But there is something of him in me, because it's a heritage. So that's it. You want to leave something behind, and it's in the most... many people want to do that. That's why they work in charities. That's why they try to craft huge buildings, fly to space, whatever. Those people very often want to leave something behind. Madoka is doing the complete opposite. Complete opposite. She's erasing herself from existence. No one will remember her. No one will know what good she did, and hell did she do good. And it is just about this. I want to help humanity itself, and it doesn't matter to me if they know. That's good. So that's it. She is simply good. If you look in time through people that are that were named later on to be holy people or like proofs of good people, like Mother Therese and others, those people very, very often, when they ever got into the light of public, they were shy about it. They didn't like it. They were like, I don't want to be in the media. I just helped because it was the right thing to do. and I don't want any praises for it. This is what it's about. Just a good person. Sayaka. Well, I know many people are not happy about her. She's very a big theme of do you like her, do you not like her. It's about the way that she acted sometimes, you know. She pushed Madoka away and everything. I discussed a lot about her in the past episodes, in the one where she turned witch as well. In my opinion, I like her. I like her character concept very much. Because that is what emotions are like. That is what life is like. People are not always logical. Sorry, we are not. She was hurt. She was hurt beyond belief, and I think. And it piled up on her. And so she did wrong decisions. That's no question. She did it. I can see why people don't like her. Out of this, man, she just did all wrong and was whining. But I would really question if those people in the same position would not do the same thing, partially at least. The sad thing about her is that in the end, before she turned into witch in the episode, she was aware that she did everything wrong. That she had a moment of clarity when she really knew, I pushed away my best friend without reason, you know, it wasn't her fault, it wasn't Madoka's fault. I just pushed her away because I was hurt and I just wanted to get this pain away by hurting someone else. It happens. And I really am stupid. I think that was her last sentence there. This moment of clarity when she realizes she made mistakes. Yes, that's it. But that's what I like about her, because people make mistakes. And she realized it in the end. That is, in my opinion, a major thing, that she was aware of it, realized it, but then she couldn't change it anymore. It was too late, you know. She kind of embraced despair. I think this is what the most people are ticked off about, that she openly embraced the turning to witch, that she did not really fight against it. She was definitely needed for this series, in my opinion. She is a major thing in this series because she shows us very clearly how you turn into a witch. Yes, it was a little bit too much, maybe a little bit overplayed, but that's why, in my opinion, she is such an important character. And what gives a lot benefit to her is her belief in just the good, which in a lot of ways is Madoka's way of thinking as well, if you think about it. So she's like, I just want to do good to everyone, just like Madoka did later on. Just that she couldn't make it through. She did not have the this power and the inner strength that was needed. So I like her. Sorry. Then there is Kyoko. Well, best girl, as many say. Kyoko is interesting. Kyoko has really, really nice, not good, nice background story, which I like a lot. Which they used to show us what a pact with the devil is like. The thing is, you get a wish granted, but you get exactly your wish granted, and nothing more. The fact that there are disadvantages, that there are things happening that you are not aware in the moment when you ask for a wish. If you make a pact with the devil tends to, well, the devil is negative. He tries to use this pact as much as possible against you. Yubei possibly is more like, I will grant you exactly your wish. Yes, he will try to get you to become a witch because he gets more energy from it in the long run. But he's not warning you of consequences. That's the difference. The devil will actively try to turn it in against you. So I liked her background story. I really liked how it was shown. There was especially all the graphics here always great. I liked her way of, how to say, I mean, she's kind of like the opposite of Sayaka. She starts in some kind of despair, not a deep one, but in despair, like being a loner, saying we have to fight against each other, it's a food chain I don't care about. If some humans died that a witch has created, which I then killed to live longer, is cool for me. So she's very negative in the beginning, a very, not really dark person, but she's in some kind of despair, you could say. And to the end, she is uplifting herself with the help of Sayaka. Where we once again have the positive things of Sayaka. So she's like the counter thesis. She turns from this, I will beat up this girl, to, in the end, I will sacrifice myself, I will kill myself and take her with me, just so that I end the despair that the soul of Sayaka is feeling. So she is not an evil guy, but a, yeah, well, bad girl, turning into a selfless, positive person just for the, I save someone, and I hope to kind of self myself, I think, there as well, and just have one good day again. Because she had a lot of bad days, you have to remember. She lost her family and everything. That was not nice either. The way that she's very quirky, that she's funny and entertaining adds to her, no question. I think that's why many people like her. It is just the character that she is at the moment. And I asked myself how much of this fun and quirkiness is real and how much of it is maybe played to rule over that she may have a lot of dark, not negative, but sad emotions in her about stuff that happened in the past. She's the one where you can see the concept of her past and her wishes very clear. She's eating all the time because she felt hunger in the past. So that's a really well round character that just puts into the story very well. So those are the girls. Well, there's one major player, and we all know who it is. My very special little friend, Kyubey. Man, what would this show be without him? I mean, you can think about him what you want. If you would may call him evil, as I said, he's not. He's perceived. Or if you call him a little D, or, you know, whatever. This show wouldn't work at all without him. So just from the analytical standpoint about the show, he is great. Fantastic idea, this guy. Whoever came up with that is a genius. He is such... Wow, what a counterpart. We have counterparts for the magical girl in the witches, especially into Walpurgis Night in the end. But they are very much, you know, faceless. They are not acting clever or anything. They are just there to be beaten. The real enemy, kind of all the time, is Kyubey. And he is partially the enemy of the girls, but he's very much the enemy of the viewers, and I like that. Because he is challenging you. He is giving you hints. He's giving you small informations. The show overall does. And he's in the center, and you have to work your mind around it, around him, about his concept. And that adds so much to it, you know? Just try to think this show about without him. And instead there would be, I don't know, like a talking stone. Wouldn't work. So, yes. Possibly, as sad as it is, MVP for the show, most valuable player. Not especially like most likable. He's just definitely the most valuable one. It doesn't work without him. Nicely designed. I really am surprised how much of emotions not he has, but is reflecting. Like, you can think into him when he's just sitting there doing like this without the eyes, you know. His face doesn't really move much. He's just putting it sideways sometimes, and I'm like, That is perfect. Seriously. Playing the Watcher. Wonderful. Really, really liked him. I loved to hate him. That is the most important thing. You get to start getting suspicions about him very soon. At least I did. And I liked kind of shouting at him. Yeah, like, ah, you got me. But that's cool because it gets you involved in the show. So really great character. The thing with logic and emotions is a kind of a meta discussion. Is great to get your brain running, although it is not the most important thing about the show. It is an interesting question that they throw up there. Not the first time, I think. This is emotions versus logic is always one major thing for every one of us, I guess. But yeah, he's the one that's missing here. He should be in the picture as well, even if it would be just like a shadow somewhere sitting. So that was cool. The show itself, great, really nice. Especially to the end, it became when it got more and more steam, more and more speed. When everything fell into places, really liked it. I liked the concept art, the design of the witches, and the memories of Yoko. Was designed very nicely. So the general graphics is nice. But the idea of putting the witches in such a different way was really, really cool. Because on the one hand, you could see there's a different now. But it felt wrong to use. It is like you could see something, you could feel it, something is wrong. You could put in the craziness of the witches this way, which I really liked. And the music over all of the series played out, emotions and everything very fine. Really good. So great concept art, graphics, really good music. They just put it together perfectly. They were really good on playing emotions with characters, but with the surrounding as well, especially last episode, you remember the gray city. Perfectly done. So very good show, no question there. I think that's it. Just thinking I forgot something, possibly not. Well, as I said, this is it for this time. I will try to get the third movie. I heard there are like 3 movies. The first 2 are like repetitions of what happened, and the third is a different one. So I will try to watch that one. I will possibly split it into 3 pieces. So after each of the pieces, when I just pause, you know, I will discuss what happened so far. Because I am pretty sure I'm not able to react to 1.5 hours of a movie in a whole. It's just too much, you know. And then we will see. I have no idea what's going on to happen because Madoka's not there anymore, so no idea. Will it go be afterwards? Will it be before? I will be surprised. As always, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Feel free to visit my Facebook page if you would like to give me a click there so that when anything might happen, you can still follow me. You're very welcome if you wanted to visit my Patreon as well. And talking about Patreon, I at the moment have a Patreon poll running. I think when this episode airs, it will possibly just have ended. I'm not sure. About the next series to react to once I finish the movie, or if I cannot find it after this episode here. So there is more to come as always. So don't worry. Seeing that the Patreons are a part of you, I think you do not have to fear it will be something bad. I may have to fear because you never know what those guys and girls are voting for. So this is it for this time. I hope you enjoyed. I did for sure. What an awesome series. Thanks again to all of you who voted the last time for this series. It is something I did not see coming. And I like that. So, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye. And out.